Hello, good evening, and welcome to the stream. It has been a while, but I'm glad to be back with another one. We're going to talk about Laravel Comments and Filament, and I'm not going to do this on my own. I have a guest with me. Hi, Dan. How are you doing?
Hello.
Welcome.
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for
So,
having me.
yeah, no problem, no problem. We were bantering a little bit before the stream about that. Like it's very hot in England right now.
It is. It is probably about 25, which is 40, the equivalent of 40 from other countries. So
Oh my
yeah,
God, that's
we're not
way.
used to it.
Yeah,
It's absolutely sweating.
yeah, that's way too hot. Let's hope that our laptops can still hold on during.
I've
During
never
the
heard my
stream.
MacBook Pro fan, so
Okay, let's keep it. Let's keep it this
M1
way.
M1 saved me there. Yeah.
I have an M1 too, and I heard the fans only once when I was like encoding video for half an hour. Then he thought, okay, you're doing some crazy
I
stuff.
haven't.
Yeah, I have a fan.
I've only done
actually.
video on my PC. I haven't done video on my Mac yet, so maybe I
Okay.
might hear the elusive fan, or maybe it's just broken and I don't know about it.
I guess we don't need it.
No.
Okay, but we're not here to talk about like MacBooks. We're going to talk a little bit about Laravel Comments and Filament, right?
We are.
Yeah. So yeah, for the audience, it was actually Dan's idea to do this stream because Laravel Comments, which is a package that my team and I have made, can actually be integrated quite nicely into Filament, and we're going to show that a little bit of. And the stream is going to have like two big parts. There's like one part where I do a general introduction of Laravel Comments, and then Dan is going to take over and install Laravel Comments in Filament, which I'm also very curious to see, as I don't have too much experience with Filament yet. So that's on the agenda. Like always, if there are any questions, yeah, just post them in the chat. And also for you, Dan, if you have any questions or any remarks, feel free to interrupt. It isn't a conference talk,
I have integrated comments with the Filament website because we launched a trick section and a plugin section and a blog section, and we've added comments to those models. So I've kind of installed it and played around with it and overridden a few views.
Cool, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's something that I'd like to take care of in all our packages, that people can customize them a little bit, you know. And that's actually also why we created like comments, to be able to give you something that can be customized.
Honestly, I'm not the hugest fan of overriding views myself. I feel like a lot of the times, I think this is probably due to our breaking change policy, but it does lead to like breaking changes sometimes. If the views are too quite heavy with interacting with internal classes and stuff.
Yeah.
But there are ways to mitigate that, and we have introduced like custom CSS classes and stuff into Filament, so you can override Tailwind where you can without overriding views, and then that's kind of like the recommended customization now. But yeah, to be honest, if you have a break-in change policy that includes the views won't break, then I think overriding views is a good approach, especially for comments, because everyone's personal website is very different.
Yeah.
And unlike an admin panel, people kind of want it to look very similar to the rest of their content. So that's very understandable.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into Laravel Comments itself.
Yes.
I'm going to do a little bit of window management here, and then I'm going to share my screen. There we have it. And I have a few tabs open to tell the story, and I should start here. So Laravel Comments is one of our premium packages, which means we ask a little price for it, and this is PPP, so I should say, if you don't know the term, there's a separate price for each country. So if you visit this website with your browser, you might see another price here. And you can see that Laravel Comments is a beautiful Livewire component to associate comments and models in your own application. Now you might ask, why did we actually build this? Well, we built this as like a side product of a course that we were making. So on our company website, you'll find a courses section here. And one of the courses that we recently made was one with Christoph Rumpel about writing readable PHP. And if we head into one of those lessons of the courses, then you see that we explain some things here. And what we really wanted to do was to give a way to let users interact with each other and also with us, because if you're talking about like code styling and about best practices with coding, these things aren't set in stone. They're also a little bit personal. People can have like a different opinion of it, and we wanted to have like each chapter have like a comment section where people can give comments. And then we looked at which are like the actual good plugins for comments that we can use for this, and they were all either very JavaScript bloaty, too expensive, and mostly they were like but ugly to look at. And then we thought, hey, let's just build this ourselves. How hard can it be with Livewire? And yeah, we took some time for that, and then we had like a really nice solution, and then we thought, hey, let's make a little product of that as well, because other people can use it too. And I'm now also using it on the course section, of course, but I'm also using it on my own website as well, so my own blog. So if you head here, and maybe this one, hopefully there's a comment on this one, then you can see that I have a comment section here as well. Of course, like with all of our packages, we wrote a lot of documentation around this. Even though it is very easy to use, I think having good docs is key for a good package. The package is actually two packages in one. There is actually Laravel Comments, which contains the core logic of commenting, and there you can interact with comments via code. So you can say, hey, this model has a comment, or another user wants to post a comment. We can also have, that's another chapter, I think. We can also have like reactions on comments, reactions that are those things here. Oh, and we have an error here. Okay, gotta fix that after the stream. So you can just interact with code. And another package is the Laravel Comments Livewire package, and these contain the Livewire components that interact with these classes. And I've got a little demo application here where I can show it to you. And before I demo this, let me first show you how you can integrate it into your application. It's actually quite simple. It is just one Livewire component that you give a model where you want to comment on. So if I uncomment this little piece here, then I have a comment section like you see, and I'm logged in now, so you see that I can post comments, and if I log out, then you can see that we can have anonymous comments here. I've got a couple of buttons here that I can just use to quickly log in to test all of this. Now there's another thing that you should do in your project to get started, and that is preparing your models. On your user model, you should add this interface and use this trait, and then your user gets these methods like comments, so you can comment on certain stuff. And we also have to prepare post, and here you have to use a trait has comments, and that's basically everything that you need to do to get this commenting section working. So I can just add something here, and you can see that we have a comment here. And the comment is just an eloquent model in your database, so you can do whatever you want with that information. If you want to create like an admin section where you list all of these comments, no problem. Do you want to create an export for your comments? No problem. It's just an eloquent model. So of course I can just give reactions on that as well. I can change the comment. Yeah. What's also important to know for us developers is that we can just use Markdown. So if I add spatie here, and I can use a link, our homepage, like that. And there you can see that it gets rendered as HTML, but if I edit it, I still have access to the original Markdown. And I also have code highlighting. I wanted to do A is 1, but maybe let's just get this model that's a little bit more sizable, like that. I'm going to comment with some code, and you can see that we highlight this beautifully as well. And I've made like a little mistake there at the end, like that. That was my code. Save, and you can see that it is rendering here now. There's also, this is kind of a neat feature. We also have a feature where you can turn on approval for comments. So I'm now logged in as another user here, and I can post a comment here, hey, like that. And you can see that now this comment is awaiting approval. It isn't shown to any other user except this one, and a notification has been sent to all the admins of this application. Now this approval flow, it's optional. You can also turn it off so every user can immediately comment. So if I log in as another user, I don't see anything here. And as an admin, I can just approve this comment if I want. And if I approve it, then the other user should see it as well. So you can see that this all just works out of the box. You don't need to do anything for this. There's also a notification system built in. So if I comment on this thread, then everybody else on this thread who has subscribed to comments will get a notification. So if I'm logged in as user 1 here, get notified when participating. Yeah, so I'm going to comment as the admin. Let's open up Array so we can see all the mails that this application sends. Hi there, this is a new comment, and if everything goes well, a notification will be sent. Yeah, I'm using another driver here, but so it doesn't get in the log. But in normal circumstances, a mail will be sent to user 1 because has been a new comment posted. And that's basically how it all works. It's a little bit of a whirlwind tour, but I hope that it's pretty obvious that just by requiring a little Livewire component here, that you actually get like a lot of goodies on the front end for this. And that's basically everything that I want to say about comments. Dan, do you think there is anything else that I should mention here?
Actually, it's quite good if you're using other systems on your website for like Markdown rendering.
Yeah.
So on the Filament website, we had to integrate it with Graham Campbell's Markdown package because we were already using that, and we were using Torchlight instead of your code highlighting package.
Yeah.
So basically all it is just changing a few classes and registering them in the config to change the workflow that basically converts the Markdown into HTML.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was quite impressive.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good thing to note. Let's maybe also take a look at the comments thing here. So yeah, we have comment transformers here, and this is what you changed probably, right?
It was, yeah, I think so.
So this class is responsible for transforming everything that the user types, probably Markdown, to HTML. And in this class, there's also a call to R highlighter, but you can also customize that. This one, I want to mention this now that I have you on stream, Dan. This is something that was added in the latest version, the comment sanitizer. And this makes sure that there's really no HTML that can get posted that can execute some JavaScript, because otherwise you have a nasty XSS hole in your code. And we actually didn't cover everything, then notified us last week, and now we have like a sane configuration to sanitize everything, and all the loopholes are covered now.
I think you covered like stuff like tags and script tags and stuff, but yeah, it was just attributes, I think.
Yeah, indeed. If we go a little bit deeper, then the HTML tags, they were covered indeed, but the attributes, I actually didn't know that you could like have somewhere JavaScript code was in. This uses, by the way, that cool new Symfony HTML sanitizer component, which I think came out like a month ago or something.
So, yeah, it did, yeah, but it's 8.1 only, so
yeah,
I would have loved to use it, but yeah.
But what PHP version does Filament require?
8.
8, yeah.
8 and 8.1, yeah. And it's Laravel 8 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But probably in the next major version, it will be Laravel 9 and 8.1 is probably going to be the minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to squeeze enough, like as many features as we can into this release, and kind of have the next major release as more of a here are some breaking changes instead of here are some massive new features. Because I feel like the existing system we have is not very limiting with like the new features people have already requested. So I think we can do 99% of them.
Yeah.
Already.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's maybe see if there's anything other interesting in this config file. Here's that auto approval flag. And like with the rest of our packages, you can override models, so you can really customize everything that you want, also the notifications, and those are basically the more important parameters. But you can basically do anything that you like with these comments components. So then that is a little bit my general introduction. Maybe you can take over and show us a little bit of the Filament magic.
Sure, I will. So for everyone that doesn't know, Filament is a project that is built on the tool stack and is mainly an admin panel. And part of that admin panel is like a form builder and a table builder, and they basically make up the core of the admin panel. So use the form builder to make your create, edit, view forms, and your table builder is used for like the list pages to list your models. And say if you wanted to use the form builder and the table builder outside of the admin panel, that's super simple. It's just a couple of traits on the livewire component, and you just add our styles and scripts to your style sheet that you already have in your app. And everything's Tailwind, so it's quite easily customizable. And yeah, I think it's a nice little project we've got. Yeah, and Freak is sponsoring through Flare and Odir as well, which is really nice.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Hey, we were talking a little bit about the name, because as a non-English speaker or non-native speaker, I didn't know what filament was. So yeah, you explained that it's like the wire in the bulb, and now I see it here as well. So that's a nice touch, man.
Yeah, well done to Ryan for that one. Yeah.
Hey, is it okay if I share your screen so we can
Yeah, go
continue
for it.
there?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It's this little button, and now we see your screen.
So this is a little demo that's just forked from Freaks 1. It's basically the same thing. So I think the first thing we can do is install Filament. We'll just go to the docs, even though it's just one command, but you can just find all the docs on our website. There are quite a lot of them, and sometimes it's difficult to find stuff because there is a lot of stuff, but we have a search with Algolia, so that is very useful. Let's copy the install command, so it's just a composer require here. This is our project.
Light team, nice. God love the light
Indeed.
teams.
And this is our special upgrade command that we've added, and this just clears the views every time you upgrade, and clears the root cache and everything else.
Oh, nice.
Just basically avoids a few common errors that you have.
Yeah.
And I already have users because I made a seeder, so we can just go to the admin panel.
Boom, boom, boom.
So this is Filament, very bare. You can get rid of these widgets if you don't like them. And in this sidebar here is where you have your pages and your resources. So if you've used Nova or other admin panels, then you might be familiar with resources, and they're basically like a wrapper around your models, and they describe to the admin panel how to render tables and forms in the project. But slightly different with Filament is nothing is inferred. Instead of having a resource that lists fields, you have a resource that lists your table columns, your table filters, and then your form fields are separate to that. So you kind of have two different schemas that you handle, and that gives you control over the layout and the functionality of each part of your admin panel instead of all together.
Cool.
So let's create a resource for this post. So on our website, we have a few seeded posts. This is just one of them, and we can just add a pretty simple resource that I can just show you how that works first. So let's use the Filament resource command, and this is for the post model. And the post resource is actually made up of 4 files by default. So we have our post resource. This is where the form is and the table.
Yeah.
And then we have 3 pages, and these pages are actually liveware components. So these are exactly what is routed into your app, and these can be completely customized, and you can even register custom pages within your resource and replace them. Let's add a couple of table columns first, since we'll be on the list page. Resource is already here, but there's nothing in the table. So let's add a text column for the title of the post, and a text column for the slug. We can make these sortable. And searchable. And that will add this search field.
Wow. That's nice.
And sorting. And we have bulk actions by default. So you can select these, you can select all 100 at once, deselect all of them, select just this page, and delete them all. And that's it.
Pretty cool.
And what you can actually do is all of this is exposed in your code. So we have a pre-built delete bulk action, but what you could do is you could do like a bulk action here and just make your own one that interacts with the records. Actions are something we've been working on quite a lot recently, and they're quite powerful because, as well as just being able to execute code, they can accept modals with forms inside and like multiple steps with wizards and everything. So that's a feature we've been working on since basically Filament v2.
Nice. And is that feature already available, that you can have like wizards
it is,
in actions?
Yep. So for example, say if we wanted to make a custom delete action, we do have a delete action available, but let's just make one, show you what that looks like. So make a delete action. Action accepts a callback, and that accepts the record. Record delete. Check it works first, and then we'll add the modal. So we can delete a record, and it's gone.
Nice.
We can use requires confirmation, and this will ask you before you delete a record. And also, you could replace this with a form, and you could ask for extra information before you delete the record. So for example, the record's name. Let's do the confirm name. Let's make that required. And the form will be validated before. And now the form data will be available within the data property of this callback. So let's just DD the data here. And we can see now this modal opens a form, and the form data is available inside here. So we can do whatever we want. So we've actually used this to build completely CRUD tables just using actions. So we have a feature in Filament called Simple Resources, where you have a resource, you don't have to leave the page to do anything. So you have an edit action that instead of linking you to an edit page, it just opens the modal, and it lets you edit everything in the modal and then close it, and also create and delete and everything. So that's just a very simple table. Let's dive into the forms. The forms is a very structural syntax. So we have many different layout components. So you can nest fields within grids and cards and field sets and everything. It's kind of like hierarchical in that respect. Let's add a few text inputs. So one for the title, required, and a text input for the slug, required. And we also have content, I think. Let's check. Yeah, it's called content and an author. Or we need to add the author name to the table as well. Forgot about that. Markdown editor. We have a Markdown editor, rich editor powered by tricks, and a normal text editor as well. And if you go onto our website, we actually have a section for other editors. We have editor.js, TipTap, and Tiny Editor as different third-party integrations. I've seen TipTap used quite a lot recently, and Tiny Editor was one of the original ones, so they're quite fun to use as well. Let's use this for the content. It's also required, and let's give it a max length width of 5,000 characters. See what this looks like.
Boom.
So as you can see, we've got our form fields, and we just need to make this full width. So that's as simple as column span full. But say if you had 3 columns in this form instead of only 2, and you could make this 2 columns, for example, up to 3. Additionally, what you can do is you can actually make it responsive. So you can pass an array to here, and you can define, like, on the medium breakpoint you have 4 columns, on the large breakpoint you have 5 columns, and then on the column span you can pass a similar array that says how many columns this will span at each breakpoint. So all of the layout of the form is basically customizable completely.
That's
so everything's fine.
That's quite impressive, that form builder.
Thank you. I will show you one more feature before we dive into comments, and that is callbacks. Callbacks in Filament are one of our most powerful features, in my opinion. So every single method on any form field or table column accepts a callback. So what you can do is you can say, if this returns true, then it's required. If it's not, then it's not required. But you can get a lot of information just from this callback. So we use Laravel's container to inject stuff like the current model. This can happen in any order. The current model, you can get the value of another form field. You can set the value of another form field if you wanted to. You can get the current value of this input. And that basically allows you to build completely dynamic and dependent forms. That's how we use dependent selects in Filament and everything. Let's use an example here with after state updated. So every time that this slug field, the title field changes, we want to update the slug, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just pass a callback in here, and we say get the title, and then set slug. So we want to get the title here, and I'll show you what this does. First, we need to make this title field reactive. So that means that every time this title field changes, the form will reload. And this actually basically, if you know Livewire, it changes the Y model.defer to just Y model. So each time the form will reload. Let's see what this looks like. So every time we update this.
That injection of functions is pretty neat. It's very JavaScripty, and it's nice to see it being used here as well.
Yeah, that's actually, I've made a mistake. This should be here. After the title was updated, we update the slug, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So we get the current title, and we then set the slug. So we go set slug to the current value of this field. And we want to wrap this in a string. This updates as you type in, but obviously you could do any sort of transformation here that you wanted. Cool, so that's the post done. Let's create a comment resource. And I think that what we should do for this is probably use what we discussed earlier was a simple resource, where everything's available in modals. We shouldn't have multiple pages, because I feel like we probably don't need to be able to create comments, just edit them. What are your opinions?
Yeah, I think so too. I see no value in creating a comment in the admin section itself, but editing is key, I guess.
I mean, I think there is like one exception. What we can do is we can try and embed the comments section into a resource. So for instance, if a team wants to communicate internally through the admin panel, then they maybe could make comments to each other, you know. So that that could be an issue. That could be a thing we integrate in a bit, using a widget. Let's create our comment resource. Resource, and we're going to call it comment. And we probably need a view page for this, like a view modal, and we want it to be simple for modals. Let's create that and see what we've got. Firstly, let's change the comment model over, because it's probably using one from add models. So let's swap this. So we can see we've got 500 comments in the admin panel. We can't read them yet. So let's add, let's go into the comment class actually and see how this works. Right, so commentable, is that the post? Am I right?
Yeah, that's the thing you're
commenting
commenting
on. And the commentator is?
The person giving the comment, yeah.
Okay. And these are morph, okay. So the way we get relationship data in Filament is through the dot syntax. And how this works is we use a normal, this isn't a table, a text column, and we say commentable name. And this will say that there is a commentable relationship on the comment, and we're getting the name from it.
Nice.
But in this case, I think that we need to have a few other conditions, because we also need to deal with like guest and deleted users and everything.
Yeah. It's a nullable relationship, so you
Okay.
can have like no commentable
Yeah.
or no commentator. Yeah.
Yeah. So the name from this relationship isn't set, is it? It's from a commentable name method
Yeah.
on the commentable, right? So
Yeah.
what we can do to this will handle the eager loading for us, at least, because it will say if we go into debug bar, we don't have debug bar installed. Do you know what the
I think
packages is?
Barry
It
VDH. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and then Laravel debug bar probably. Yeah.
Just check what query this is running, because it should be eager loading the commentables.
Yeah. I think what you can use for a title on a commentable, I think there is like a method where we get like a description for the commentable. Maybe you can use that as well here.
Yeah, so I think it's the commentable name.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's use get state using. So this is basically overriding the value of this field. Let's say commentable is current record. So this is the row of the table. And because comment can be nested, you have to get the top level commentable, right? So is there a hint comment? Is there like a top level?
Yeah. I think there is a top level method on there. Yeah.
Yeah, there. And that will be the commentable. And then we want to probably return the commentable
name.
Commentable name method, yeah.
Yeah.
And probably if that's blank, then deleted. So this, let's actually open your Nova integration, because we can probably still look at it from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so top level deleted. Yeah, and that could be null. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just add a. It has comments is the trait.
Yeah, indeed. You know the names quite well. Better than me.
I've had to. Yeah, I only integrated it like last week, so.
Okay.
Let's. Yep, sure enough, we have the. Cool. Okay. Now let's add the commentator name. It's a similar thing. Actually, do we want to? Yeah, let's leave it. Okay. Commentator name. It's the same thing. So comment. And this is going to be the commentator. And what is the?
I think on a commentator, there's like a method that gets like some properties back from it. How dare I just do user class? Yeah, here I assume that it's always a user. You could do that too, but there's also like a method on the interface that says like give the commentator properties, so it should give a name back. If you want to do it like in a real good way, but just assuming it's a user could also work.
No, let's do it properly with the interface, I think. Okay. Commentator. So we're going to get the records commentator. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're going to get the...
And yeah, you should look up the name. I don't know it by heart. There's something there in the interface.
Commentator
properties or
properties, yeah, I think.
something
And we're
like
getting
that.
the... This is some object that
that
stores the email name or something.
Yeah, and you can get the
Okay, let's try commentator properties.
Yeah.
Name. And if this is null, then guessed.
Yeah, indeed. Or the user deleted, but probably a guessed.
Okay.
Hey.
Cool. So we now have the names of the comments and the commentable. And let's just double check this. Yeah, the queries are fixed. Yep, eager loaded.
Nice.
Cool.
That was
so
fast.
That is... Yeah. One thing I do want to do is there is a comment URL function for the commentable. So when you click on this column, it will take you to the comment origin, right?
Yeah.
So let's say URL we get this. So it's the comment URL. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
Okay, and this should be set up. Yeah. Now let's open this in a new tab though, because
it
annoy people.
Hey.
And what else do we want? Okay, so comments have a status, right? So they have a approved, pending status. Is there a rejected status, or are they deleted?
Good question. I don't know anymore. You should take a look in the enum. I guess
comments table. Okay, there's just an approved that. So approved or pending. That would be it, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
So I guess they just stay there. Actually, probably I don't touch them.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a virtual column then. So it's a badge column probably because we want different colors of the status. Let's get the state using another function. Comment.
I just looked up in the source code and reject comment action that will just delete the comment, so it gets deleted.
Sweet. Okay, that's cool. Well, that's one thing less to consider then. So we can just return a string based on if the record is approved or not. So let's return the record is approved or pending. This works, and then let's add these colors to this so it's more visual. Colors array, and I think it has the array keys as colors. So we have a few predefined colors. We have success, warning, danger, secondary, and primary in Filament. They each have different colors mapped, and you can override them in a Tailwind config file if you wanted to change those. So the array keys, as far as I know, are the colors, and then the array values are going to be either a value to match it against or a callback that then dictates if this color is active. But in this case, we just want to do it for approved comments and pending comments. Be those colors. Yep.
Nice.
And that's now highlighted. Oh, last thing is like commented at, probably. So that will just be a text column with a date cast on it. So is there a commented at or is it created at? It's just created at, isn't it?
I think created at. Yeah.
Okay. So let's and probably sortable so we can sort the most recent comments. Oh, they were seeded, so they've all got the same, but
yeah.
Okay, cool. It's good to see that the deleted ones that I deleted earlier are resolving correctly as well.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. One thing I am interested in is how this will work if this has a different property that we're reading from. So I think currently it's title, but say we wanted to read it from the content or a different attribute name, that should work, right? Because we're just calling this method. Yeah, here.
Yeah. So
Okay, so we're not hard coding anything, so we should be fine.
Yeah.
My only problem with that is that, say you wanted to search comments by the commentable, we couldn't do that.
Ah, yeah, because you don't know the field.
Because we don't know the field name, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a searchable, right? And this searchable accepts a array of fields to search. So in this case, it would be title, but say we had like a
another
method
kind of...
here that said, yeah, like protected function get commented static. Commentable title. And then say if people want to like extend this comment resource, they just override this method, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we can use this. Yeah.
I would actually pass like the commentable in there, because different commentables could have like different fields.
That's true. How would we do that though? Because in SQL, what we're doing is we would be searching the table.
Yeah.
It's tricky, that. Okay, let's leave this for now, because technically I think this bit of the admin panel will only be for like approving and denying comments. I think. I don't think you'll be reviewing comments here.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be fine. What else can we add to the table? Filters. Yeah, let's do filters. So I'm thinking approved or denied filter, or pending, and then maybe like a date filter to filter recent comments between dates. Do you think that's useful?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. How are we doing for time? Not bad.
It's okay, sure.
Yeah. Ternary filter. So we have a normal filter in Filament, and this is like a, is it on or is it not on? And if it's on, then we filter. If it's not on, then we don't filter. But we have what's called a ternary filter, where it can be of one of three states. It can be a yes, a no, or a null. So in this case, it would be the yes would be approved, the no would be pending, and the null would be everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's say this is the approved at filter. And label of approval status, because approved at is probably not very clear. True label. So this is the label when the filter is true, what it should be active to. So approved. The false label is pending, and the placeholder will be all. By default, should we only have pending comments in our table?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
So by default, will we only have pending comments in the table? So comments that haven't been approved.
Unless you have like auto approval on, then they will immediately be approved.
Okay. So, but in this case, I think that this resource will be used for people who don't have that on and want to approve comments by that. So in which case, we can try and do this. Default to false, and make this nullable as well. See if this works or not, and then so pending. Looks like it worked. Yeah.
Hey, nice.
This is all. Okay.
Yeah.
We can reset that back. Yeah, I think that's probably maybe not a good default, but these people can easily access that from there.
Yeah.
Let's add a created at filter. Probably a bit more in depth though, because we don't have a date filter thing, so you have to kind of build it out with a custom form. So let's say create at and pass in a form. So this is just a form from the form builder. Like actions, you can just pass in any form field you want into here, any form, grid, any layout, and it should work. So date
Okay.
picker created from I think that's it actually, and a date picker for created to, created until, yeah, created until. See what this looks like, and then we can wire it up with the query. Create from,
Yeah.
and create until. Sweet. Okay. Let's query here. So we'll try and intelligently guess what the query is, but in this case, we've got a custom form. It's got no chance because it doesn't know what fields are in here and stuff. So let's get the data from the form with the data property. And we want to get the eloquent builder. So let's return the query when the create stat field is filled. I need to know. No. We should modify the query. Yeah. Is that the right way? No. Yeah. The created from. Yeah, so comments that are created from. Okay.
It's always hard, right?
Yeah.
to write these.
Every time.
Yeah.
I always doubt. To be honest, I probably got it the wrong way around and I have to do it again, but it's fine. Let's do this the opposite way around. So create until. Create until. Oh, I've put it all in the same one. Font size is not a.
Yeah, it's working a little bit
This
against
is-
you, but you're doing fine.
Yeah. Let's pass this in here. And the created till. We still managed to get the. That's nice. Key created that. Oh, this is created from, not created that.
Yeah, yeah.
Until R created that. The filter has been persisted in the query string, so
Okay.
there we go.
So it's-
Okay,
yeah.
it is working. That's good. So let's do 4th to the 5th. So this shouldn't have any comments because I seeded it today. Ooh. 4th to the 5th. Yep, nothing. But 4th to the 9th should be everything. Yeah. Cool. We've got our date filter. Now for the actual management of the comments. So let's have a look. First off, we don't need this new comment button. And this is actually located in the comment page because everything inside this table is managed within the resource, but everything like the headers and the page names and the page actions are all within the page classes. So
Okay.
you can just remove this from the actions array on the manage comments page. What else do we need? So our actions: approve for pending comments only, reject for approved comments or pending comments. Maybe we can have an edit button and like maybe a preview button where you can view the comment contents. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Okay, we've already got the view action here, so let's do that to start with. Comment resource. So we've got a view action here. Does the comment have a policy?
I think it
Because
has.
technically, the edit and the delete button should be here. So I'm pretty sure the policy is then tampering with that. But that's fine. We can override that. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. We can work around that. So this view action, we just want to add custom modal content to it basically, and we're just going to pass in the comment. So this is the current comment, and we're going to return custom HTML. So this has to be passed into an HTML string, otherwise we'll have XSS infection.
Yeah.
So new HTML string, and we're going to pass in what is the name of the column that stores the comment content?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
The column that stores the content of the column.
That's original text for like the original comment.
Okay, so that's the markdown, and this is the HTML.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so it's just the text column then.
Yeah.
So record text. Cool. That's working. And we need an edit action as well. But because there is a comment policy, I think that we might need to do a custom action. Well, no, we can just do an edit action, but we can remove the authorization, I think. Rise.
So can you actually hook into the policy, or what are you trying
So
to
it
do?
uses a policy by default, and that's the problem. So what it does is the way it works is the resource has ultimate control over the authorization. So each of the actions by default will read from the resource, then the resource will read from the policy from this can edit method that we can add.
Yeah.
So we can just override this to return true, and then it won't listen to the policy anyway.
Okay, got it.
Cool. Okay, the edit button's there, and this should open a modal, but there's no form. So let's add the form to the form section. What we could do if you wanted to is just make this a custom table in a custom page and add like a form to this. But because it's a resource, we'll just add it in the form bit.
Hey Dan, people are complaining about some noise in the audio. I think it's here.
Can you hear it?
Try to fix it. No, I can't hear it, so I think that
I can't hear it either.
That I'm the culprit, but I don't know. Just it's another wire here, but I hope that maybe fixes it a little bit.
I couldn't hear your mic buzzing either.
No? Okay, yeah, then it's probably good. I don't hear any buzzing from your end as well, except from a little bit of traffic, but that's nice.
Yeah, that's the window.
Yeah, leave it open, otherwise you'll melt.
Yeah. So Markdown editor. I've got a question. Is there a hook in the comment model that will transform the HTML when we change it, or do we have to trigger that ourselves?
I think you have to trigger the action yourself, but let me take a look at the comment model from my end here.
If there's like an observer or anything, then it should be handled for us, right? So
Yeah, indeed. Let me check real quickly here. So models, comments. Let's go to the top. And we do it for you. So we're listening on save.
okay.
Yeah.
So this should be it then. Just add a markdown editor for the original text, and that is handled.
Boom, boom, boom.
Can't remember which comment this was. Oh, we need to get rid of the form, because by default we generate the view modals using a disabled version of the form. But I think that we can use the HTML version instead, because that's probably better. So let's just pass in an empty form into the view action, and that will get rid of the form. Where was the one that I changed? Yeah, my new comment, cool. And then let's go to view, my new comment. Nice. This is going well, I think.
Yeah, indeed.
Let's do the approval stuff, because that's the most important thing, I think.
Yeah.
The action, and it's going to be a custom action called approve. Let me get the current comment. So like a comment approve.
Yeah.
And let's do like a notification after this as well. So let's call filament notify with success, and we're going to say approved. For approving, you should probably want to we want this to be, yeah, so at the moment all of these comments have an approve button, but this is already approved, so let's get rid of it for the already approved comments. So we're going to say hidden, and this will also accept the current record. Ooh. So it's hidden if it's approved.
Yeah.
And let's make this a green button. So this is with the color success. And the icon you probably want from Heroicon. So the way Filament handles icons is it will look for any blade component with the same name. Filament comes with Heroicons by default, the blade icons package from Dries. So we can just use any of these icons in Filament and it should just work. So check or check circle. I think probably check for this. It's working.
Approved.
Is there a sync job? Is there a job that does something? Because I think I did something too quickly.
Yeah. There's a job that sends out the notifications.
Right, okay. Sure, it's fine. That's not a problem. Let's do a deny button or a reject button.
Yeah.
What's the terminology you use in the docs?
I think reject.
Reject, okay. So do you think the reject button should be after view and edit or after edit? What do you think? After approve?
I think after approve, because
after approve.
Yeah, your eye will fall there. Yeah.
I think to start with, actually, we should change the name of the view action to be preview, because otherwise it's been misleading what we're viewing.
Yeah.
Because we could be viewing the entire comment. So let's do preview. And let's add the reject comment underneath here. It's going to be similar. So that rejected success. Post confirmation visible if the comment is approved. Is that right? Yeah. I mean, it could be visible if the comment's approved or if it's
rejected, it'll be deleted. Then you won't see it anymore. So
okay.
I think you
just approved them.
Yeah, that's enough.
Okay. Color is gonna be danger, and I don't think a trash can is probably the best one for this. Is there like a close X?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's use X for that then. It should just delete.
And then it should be gone.
Did that do anything?
I don't think so.
That did.
Yeah, I saw something move in the table.
So let's approve that first, and then this is the job thing. I think it's something's being. What are the jobs in this package? Is it in the main Laravel Comments package, or is it the Livewire?
It's in the main
package.
It's
the main one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see what's happening. I'm pretty sure it's just that we're trying to edit records that have been deleted, and because they're not deleted straight away, they're still in the table.
So yeah, there's one.
So it's just sending.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So the pending comments that goes to the admins, and the other one for approved that goes to other users.
Okay. Cool. All right. I think we're fine. One last thing would be bulk actions, so we can just mass approve and mass reject.
Yeah.
So we'll just copy these and make them bulk actions. We can delete this one because reject is delete, isn't it? So. Yeah. Bulk action, and instead of record, we're going to get records, and we're going to get an eloquent collection. So records each reject, and records each approve. We can't do this. We can't conditionally hide bulk actions based on which one's selected. Let's approve these. Oh, that's they're pending comments. Yeah, so let's approve these.
Yeah. You know what? If you want to get rid of that, what would be the easiest way to do that? I guess just start a queue so those jobs get handled on a queue and not immediately.
Should I change something in the env? Should I do like
Yeah, do Redis there.
Do I have Redis installed? I mean, I could just do database, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that. That's the easiest way. I don't know if I've got Redis installed or if it's or if I normally use Sail for that anyway.
Afterwards, I'll take a look at it and see if there's anything wrong at our end for that.
Yeah, it's just something's just not keeping up.
Okay.
Seems fine. Okay, well, they were approved anyway, so it did work.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Okay, so I think this is the resource done. Can you think of anything that we have missed? Because if you haven't, then we can just add this to the posts resource now. Just
I
copy
think-
this all over.
I think the only thing that you could do, I don't know if it's like common to do that in Filament,
Go on.
is to put like on the commentator also a link to the user, so you could just check the user also.
We can do that, but we don't have a user resource, so we should do that first. This is a good time to show you that we can generate resources out of the schema from the database, but you have to have eval installed.
Yeah.
And now let's do art filament resource user. Right. I'm gonna not look at the code yet. I'll show you this. So we have our name, email, verified, created at, updated at. When you click in, we've got our password field and everything. Date picker. Okay, this is fine for now. We can do the link now and then handle that in a bit. So let's do the link. So this will be using the URL method, and we're passing in the comments again, full string in case the resource is not there. How would we handle different commentator models with this? Should we just do like resource equals match record commentator, and then depending on what the class is, then we turn the user resource like that.
That seems fine.
Maybe if there's no resource, then return null because we can't link.
Yeah.
And then do turn resource. We have a static get URL method for resources, and you can just do edit and pass in the record. As you can see on the user resource, this is just passed into the root. This is just root model binding.
Yeah.
Match unhandled match case app. Is this the wrong way around? Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Nice. Yeah.
Good. Let's open that in a new tab.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. Let's now just add this to a relationship then. Basically just copying over. So in Filament we have what's called relation managers. And relation managers can be added to any resource, like a post. And what they do is they render a table of related records underneath the form. So in this case, we're going to have a post, and then we're going to have a table full of pending comments underneath the post. So what we do is we make a new relation manager using art filament.
Before you head into that, would it be possible to just render the comment component itself there?
Indeed, we can do that. But can you approve and deny from that comment component?
Yes, you can.
You can? Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can do that with a widget. So let's make a new widget, and let's call it comments. I'm going to add this to the post resource. But we can share this between resources, it's alright. So make sure to register the widget in the getWidgets method of the resource, and in the getHeader widgets or getFooter widgets of any post resource page. This may sound a bit confusing, but it should make sense. So with each page, we have two sections where you can render widgets, above the form, below the form. In this case, we want to render it below the form, so we add the comments widget to the getFooter widgets of the edit post page. So let's go to the edit post page and footer widgets, and an array of widgets that we render here. So let's add events. Widget. Okay. Let's do the resource as well. Because this basically will then register the Livewire component for you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not booted. Because we're outside the Livewire directory, so everything has to be kind of
Registered.
hinted at Livewire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be it. And now let me show you this widget. So this widget is a Livewire component in itself. You can basically do whatever you want with it. Let's go into the post resource. And you can see we have a view property here, but this is a widget and it just extends the Livewire component.
Yeah.
Start off, we just want to go into this view. Comments blade. And inside this card, we just want to render the comments component. So let's go here and using the components. Pass that in. And here we can pass in the record, and we can make the record available to the widget using just a public property like you would in Livewire.
Yeah.
So if this is defined, then it's just injected automatically into the Livewire component. And that should be it. It's not going to work with styling, but let's just check it works. Yep, okay, we've got that. Let's make this full width. So it spans all of them, because most widgets don't span full width because they're just like charts or stats. Full. Now let's inject the scripts and the styles into Filament's own scripts. Installation, what's this look like? So we've got styles and scripts. Okay. So we've got a feature in Filament called render hooks, and render hooks can be used to render content into the layout from like a service provider. So let's go into appearance, render hooks. So you can see we just call the register render hook. And this example is to integrating wire elements modal package that lots of people use. And then you can add like powerful multi-step modals and stuff to Filament. Yeah. So looking at the docs, we've got a few render hooks. So scripts and styles are probably what we want. And we probably want the Alpine code to be booted before Alpine. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and we want the styles as well. So styles start. All right, let's do this. Let's register a render hook in our service provider. Element and blade. I love this new blade render. So useful.
It used to be harder to do that.
It used to be so much harder.
Yeah.
Comment styles, right. So styles start and start. This theoretically should be everything we need.
Come on.
Colors? Let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, nothing's been booted.
Script starts, style starts.
Comments, scripts. Wonder why this doesn't work. Let's have a look. I have a feeling that these are relatively new render hooks, and maybe I see. There is a mistake in the docs.
Okay.
It styles before.
Boom.
And scripts before. I will make sure to update that later.
Hey, that is
Nice.
pretty nice.
Seems to be working.
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Yeah, I think that's it. Unless you want to do the relation manager, that's basically it.
I think this is quite impressive.
Thank you.
To have it rendered here. Yeah, I think we've done enough for today.
I think so.
But,
I think so too.
But this is yeah, really
Oh god,
impressive.
I'm dark.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. There, you're back. Yeah, it's amazing to see how customizable that filament is and how quickly you can get something
Thank you.
started here. Yeah, the code that you just wrote for the comments, maybe you should pass it along to me, and then I'll add it to our docs as well. So
Yeah, I mean, we can add it to docs, or what we can do is we can add the class to the package, and
yeah,
then basically just allow people to extend the resource.
yeah,
What do you think of that? Yeah.
that would also be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that, because potentially we could make a plugin, and it be like automatically registered with the resource in the admin panel. But if people want to register like a different title attribute like we did, then they need to extend the class anyway. So I think that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, I'm
with
fine
that.
with that.
Sweet. Okay. I'll send this code to you then.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll
Nice.
get that running. So yeah,
Cool.
I'm tempted to even switch to Filament myself for this, because having like the comments component in the admin section itself is very handy, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
What other cool things are coming to Filament? It seems that you're still very busy with adding stuff. And
we're not stopping. We've got a roadmap, so that. So this is the stuff that we've done recently. This roadmap has only been done for a few weeks, I think, like a couple of months maybe. The wizard was a big one for us. A lot of people really appreciate that, because you can basically transform any create form into a wizard. You can use it in the custom form builder. These are just refactoring stuff. Testing helpers I released today.
Okay.
And what these do is they basically give you a ton of macros for the testable livewire class, and that allows you to do certain stuff to the table without having to manipulate livewire classes, livewire methods and properties yourself. This is a new section, so you can basically test to see if you can see table records on the list page. You can test to see if a certain column's being rendered properly, because this basically passes the HTML and then checks it's in the response. You can sort the table and check that the sort is in order. Search it, add filters, and actions. This is quite highly requested, because previously it was possible to test with livewire, but you had to know the names of the internal methods we use to call actions and stuff. So this is much easier now. You can pass in data and stuff and check validation errors. What else on the roadmap? What are some big ones? The sortable tables. At the moment, you can do sortable by adding actions that move the record up and down.
Yeah.
But in V1, we had a feature that was dragging and dropping records into place in a table.
Yeah.
And we might do that again. The only issue with that is if you have a sort applied, then it kind of...
Yeah, then it's strange.
Yeah, exactly. Active table filter states, this is just a UI thing. So when you have like an active filter, we're thinking about having like a little badge here that says pending.
Yeah.
Address input is something I did at work. So we have like a Google address autocomplete field, which is a custom field, and I think I might make a plugin out of it because a lot of people need like auto address fields in admin panels and in their apps that use the form builder.
Yeah, it seems that you're refining a whole lot here, which is quite good to do. Also, I think that people always think we need to have like big new features and we need to get the next big version out. But I think having refinements all over the place, really makes your thing better too.
We do have a thread for like feature requests from v3. But I'm 99% sure that most of these will be implemented in v2 instead.
Yeah.
Little bit of we're at a nice place with it though. Just making small improvements and stuff that are quality of life. Most people have built admin panels with it, and also entire apps with it. There's a package called Breezy which adds registration, email verification, and everything, and you basically turn the admin panel into an app framework.
Wow.
So there's a lot you can do with it, and a lot of documentation that you need to read. But once you've done that, you can build a lot of things with this.
Yeah, it seems amazing. I need to give this a spin myself too soon. To have it a little bit in the fingers. But like I said,
to be honest, I'm sure if you ever build a Filament plugin, then the community is very grateful for anything like that. We do have a lot of them, and I'm pretty sure most of your packages are covered. Not actually, no, that's an exaggeration because you got 300 or so. But we've got
the
82
ones are there.
We do have a spatty filter. So.
Oh wow, nice. Oh, it's more than I imagined. Nice.
I mean, to be honest, let's give these people credit. Most of them are permissions. We've got like 5 different permission plugins, but that's great.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I think this is like a nice time to start stopping the stream, to start winding down.
Yes.
Is there anything that you still would like to say or to plug to people?
No, I've said my thing. If people have improvements on what we did tonight, I'll probably open a PR to your package.
Yeah. And
if people own Laravel Comments, they'll be able to see that repo and they'll be able to comment on that. And we can make improvements before we merge it.
Yeah.
And if anyone has other ideas for spatty packages or anything that we need to integrate, then we should do that.
Yeah. Just let us know. Always happy for feedback. Okay, then I enjoyed the stream. I found it very educational. I hope that you liked it as well.
I did. Thank you.
Even though you were a little bit in the dark for some time.
No one knows. They're looking at my code. It's all right. I think the light mode should have lit my face up more, but
and even I didn't see it. I was just concentrating on your screen, not on your little stream there of your face. Okay.
All right.
I think we're done for now. Until next time, then.
Yes. See you later. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
So this is the end of the stream. Until the next time, everybody. Hope you liked it. Bye bye.